Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is a reading for Capricorn, okay? And Capricorn soul connections, and it deals with past lives and how your karma from your past life is affecting your current life. And so this is for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, Jupiter, and Venus. And I'd like to thank all my subscribers as I'm new and I started doing these YouTube videos just recently, so I'd like to thank you guys, and especially Scorpions. I have had 1,000 and some views for my Scorpio videos, and I appreciate that. I'm also a Scorpio rising. So let's begin. I didn't want to waste a lot of time shuffling the cards, and I would rather shuffle some cards beforehand before I put the video on, and talk to you guys a little more about the spread that I see here, and spend some more time delving into the spread in detail that I have on this board. Now, do check your natal chart, and if you do not know your natal chart, is really important for you to know because I'm going to name off different planets and where your zodiac signs are held in different planets. So you could also kind of decipher if it's you or the person, your soulmate. You might not know your natal chart of your soulmate, but then if you know yours, then you can say, okay, it's definitely not me. So if you don't have your natal chart, I would suggest you get one. If you go online and you type free natal chart calculator, and you will get a free natal chart calculator. You just have to know your birth of origin, your month, your day, and your year. And aside from that, the exact time you were born, the minute, the hour, and the minute you were born. And this is very important to get the correct natal chart. So don't focus too much on the genders that you see here and the animals on the cards. The gender is actually, you have male and female energies within you, so don't focus too much on the genders. Also, if the zodiac signs confuse you and your natal chart and you're new to this, focus more on the events. I am reading for a collective, so even if I get a few views in the beginning, I will get more views later, and so maybe if it's not for you, it's for the person who is going to view this video later and it resonates for them. Because whenever you're guided to view these videos is a time that you actually need to see them. So this is not time stamped, although I am reading this in March. And so let's begin. So I took the time to shuffle your cards beforehand so I don't waste too much time shuffling them. And let's go through the zodiac signs that I see at this moment. And so, of course, this is for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. So I see here the card of Virgo. So, and you, Capricorn, you have a strong Virgo placement in your natal chart. Okay? And also, Nine of Wands, Moon in Sagittarius. Some of you guys might have Moon in Sagittarius. A Hermit, or Virgo, which is a Hermit card. Five of Cups. This is Mars in Scorpio. Okay, some of you guys might have that. Seven of Wands. Again, Mars and Leo. Some of you guys might have Mars and Leo. Pisces, a strong Pisces. This is Magician, a Mercurial card. So it could be Virgo or Gemini. And Five of Stones, Five of Earth. This is Mercury in Taurus. So check that. You might have Mercury in Taurus, or the person, your significant other, might have Mercury in Taurus in their natal chart. 10 of Earth, Mercury in Virgo, and then 10 of Scrolls, that is air. Sun in Gemini. This is definitely a Sun in Gemini. So you might be dealing with a Gemini. Your significant other might be a Gemini. And this is the sign of Aquarius. So somebody has strong Aquarius in their chart. So here I see Gemini, I see Aquarius, I see Pisces, Virgo, again Gemini, and let's begin, guys. Okay. And so if you didn't understand that, disregard it and just focus on the events. But I had to say this to those people that are more advanced and do know their natal chart, and do not get confused from this right here. So this is your side of the spread, Capricorn, and this is your significant other side of the spread. Okay, so the past life situation that affects your current life right now is forgiveness. Forgiveness. And I will actually read what the book says. I do know what it says, but I rather read it so you can kind of follow along with this. The situation you're inquiring about will be healed or improved through your willingness to release old stored anger. You may not even be consciously aware that you've been holding on to resentment. Your anger may show up in subtle ways such as high blood pressure, addictions, insomnia. Maybe you have a hard time sleeping, or moodiness. Wouldn't it feel great to have stable moods and more control over your health? Forgiveness isn't the same as saying that the actions of others were justified or acceptable. Instead, forgiveness is a statement of self-empowerment. You choose to detoxify yourself of all stored anger and other negative energies. After all, when you hang on to anger, it only hurts you and not the other person. To heal the situation, be aware that meditation and introspections are important, okay? So you're also, whether you know this or not, you're carrying resentment and hurt towards things that have happened in your past life between the soulmate. And so the little things or the big things that has happened in your current life triggers this resentment, and it blows it up more so than what it is currently. It's currently, let's say the person does something, and I'm not saying that he or she is doing something small, it could be big, but it blows it up tenfold because you have all this resentment from your past life too that you haven't really healed. So a lot of people, when they pass away, they don't heal everything in their current life. And so when they reincarnate again, one of the lessons is to forgive and to heal. And so this is one of your lessons, is to forgive. Okay? And forgiveness doesn't necessarily mean that you're accepting what they're doing. Of course not. Forgiveness means that you just let it go. You let bygones be bygones, and you decide to move on, or to just put it past you and purge all those emotions that you do have and not bottle them inside, because it causes blocks within your chakra and yourself. And so it affects your manifestation, or it affects your current life. So it's very important that you forgive others, even if they did you wrong. It's not, if you hold that resentment and all that anger, it affects you in a negative way, because you're affecting your body in a negative way. The other person doesn't really care. It does, he or she may not care. So it's up to you to release all those things, okay? We're only responsible for our own soul, nobody else's soul. And so, the karmic situation here is that actually both of you, your partner and yourself, have had so many trials and tribulations with the Seven of Spirals. I'm actually using the deck called the Chrysalis Tarot. This deck right here. And so I was guided to actually use this deck. And I did meditate before I actually did the spread, and asked my angels and spirit guides to be with me as I read your tarot, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Jupiter. And so the Seven of Spirals, this is like you've had a lot of heartbreak in your current life, and to the point where you're a little defensive. You have boundaries. You have established boundaries because of all the trials and tribulations that you've gone through that require you to actually have a tougher skin and protect your heart a little more because of all these past pains and hurt. So you're actually protecting your heart, I think, even more so than you should because of your inability to forgive some things. And so when somebody does something to you, it kind of triggers all these past pains and like trauma, and so you guard your heart more than what you need to guard your heart. Do you see this bear right here and kind of like his den, and he's very overprotective over his den, right? And so it's not necessarily bad to guard your heart like this, but understand that you need to let, if you want to have a relationship with your soulmate, you need to let this person in your den, right? So, and that may come slowly. Okay, so the karma that you have inherited, Capricorn, I got Virgo. So, or actually it's the Hermit card, which is the card of Virgo, Sun in Virgo. And so this is a card of somebody who in their past lives have also been wise because they've gone through the full stage of being impulsive, of being guided just by their dreams and looking at things through rose-colored glasses, that they've been through those stages a long time ago, past lives. And so they in these lives, they have had the ability to even be wiser because they've actually maintained that they inherited this wisdom from their past lives. And so this person tends to, when they get imbalanced or they haven't been able to make a decision or something bothers them, they actually go within and they need their own space to consult their guides or meditate or even think about the best course of action. And so whether this person's spiritual or not, which it seems like they are, whether they're conscious or not, because they have this form of reflecting, of being able to be by themselves. And when you are comfortable with being by yourself, you have this way about you that you are self-assured in everything you feel and everything you're thinking of. You can, because you know yourself well. You know yourself well because you're comfortable with being by yourself and comfortable in the space of being alone, where you can come up, your intuition is very good and you can come up with the answers by yourself. And so you can see that this woman has like crows, which mean like very intuitive. Like she looks kind of shamanic, so you are probably a spiritual teacher. If you're not a spiritual teacher, then you're some kind of girl, you're some kind of leader that people look up to. And if you don't delve into like the Akashic records or tarot reading and things like this, you might understand very well the nature of people and spirituality and like through your trials and tribulations, and so which causes you to be a very wise person. And so when I clarified this, I got the Five of Mirrors and the Nine of Spirals. So the Nine of Spirals here means the Nine of Wands, and this is like the silent warrior. And he's a silent warrior because he's been through so many battles, and he's like even injured from those battles, and that's why he feels the need to protect his heart here. Okay, the red kind, this kind of reminds me of a heart. And so he feels a need, or she feels a need to protect their heart, that because of all the wounds and stuff, but they still are resilient and they push through whatever their ideas are. So if they decide that they're going to pursue something with passion, even if it's hard or even if the road has been difficult, do you see the wind blowing? Even if the wind blows you more farther east or whatever, this person focuses on the prize at hand and focuses on the course because they've already made the decision and they have one more push, or like a big push, to actually complete this goal or complete this thing. So they're almost close to completion, actually, of whatever it is that they're trying to manifest or trying to create here, which is and then when I clarified this, so right now it seems like the person is taking the time to themselves to actually think about what their course of action is. And it seems like this person is not in speaking terms with their soulmate. And you can see here with a 5 of Mirrors, which is a 5 of Cups, the 5 of Cups, which really means that there might have been a disappointment, something that maybe caused you to go into your own corner, into your man or woman's cave, to think about why you're feeling the feelings that you do. And so you've been so disillusioned and disappointed at something that you need to heal, and this is why you've actually taken some time away to go to your own corner, or you're by yourself and needing some space to heal. So there was a broken romance, or like something that you guys, it seems like you're not together, okay? And there's some emotional upheaval that needs to be set right. And so like clearly you have some kind of feelings for this person, and you feel so disillusioned because you were hoping that you'd have like a happy relationship and things would go your way, but they didn't, because of some upset, emotional upset that requires balancing. So you withdrew to your corner, okay? So this is Chuan Yin's story, and she's like, it's one of hope from adversity, joy from the depth of sorrow. Like if you haven't wallowed in the depth of sorrow, then you wouldn't know what joy is. So even though we are disappointed at things, we always have to be grateful at the lessons that we were dealt with, because we're able to learn more from them, and look at it in the spiritual side of being lessons that we're here under our soul contract to learn, okay? And so this will help you forgive and heal. And so this is from your side of the situation. So whatever wrongs you may have suffered, or you may have suffered, will heal in time. But you have to forgive right here. So again, we have forgiveness. Okay, and how does your person feel? So your person is also a very spiritual person. Okay, they might have Pisces in their chart. Okay, with a hanged man. Okay, so this is also a very spiritual card. Also a card of needing to take some time away to actually reflect on the different perspectives, to try to view things with many different perspectives, because they have a complete understanding that relationships and people and things are complex, like this Celtic knot, that there's so many intricacies and connected webs and stuff from that pertain to people, because it's not easy to understand people. People are complex, And just dealing with people, just one person alone, you find that each individual person is complex in their own right, and I'm not having to deal with understanding situations and scenarios with different people that are complex, and so it weaves a really difficult story here that you're trying to get a different perspective from. Okay, and you can see that your this owl signifies a wise person. You can see that their crown, their sacral chakra, no, not sacral chakra, sorry, their crown chakra is like willing and able to open themselves up with the crown here to their spirit guides and what the universe is trying to tell them. Okay, and I clarified this card, and I got the magician. So here, this person, your significant other, is trying to manifest something. So now, if you think that you are the soulmate and the soulmate is the Capricorn energy that I'm reading, energies are vice versa. They can go either way. Okay, I just read the energies. I do not know whose energy belongs to whom. It's something that you have to decipher for yourself. So I clarified the Hangman, and I got the Magician, which is mercurial, and so it doesn't really have a sign, but Mercury tends to deal with Virgo and also Gemini. Gemini are very mercurial planets in Virgo, and so zodiac signs, sorry. And so this is telling me that this person is trying to manifest something. And so with being the Hangman and kind of like being guided, taking the time and the space to actually try to make the right decision and look at things in a different perspective, multiple perspectives, and getting guidance by the divine, that they're actually trying to manifest, and this is their ID, you see? They're looking for signs from the divine, from the universe that can help them. And so it's asking them with the crows here and stuff to think about the synchronicities, think about the messages that divine is trying to tell you through synchronicities in number. Maybe you're waking up at night with 333 or with 555, which means change. And I saw a lot of fives here, which means that people are going through transformations, big changes. And so I didn't have Scorpio sign, but I kind of, because of these transformations, and like I kind of like got this hint of Scorpio in this reading. And don't ask me why. It's just like with all these transformations and like deaths and rebirths, when you're transforming, there's always a death of the old and a new perspective or a new idea or something that's new that is born. And so this is like what Scorpios do best. And so here so you might wake up at these hours, or maybe you look at the clock in the afternoon and you find that it's 11:11. So these number synchronicities are messages from the divine, from your angels. So it's up to you to look at what these messages mean. Okay. Also, you might get messages through music. Maybe you're walking around and you're thinking of a person, or you're thinking about an idea, and you're getting a song that kind of resembles what you're thinking about. These are messages. Also with the TV, if you happen to turn on the TV, or somebody says something to you, or you see a spirit animal, maybe you see a butterfly or a white feather. These are all synchronicities. These are all messages that the divine's trying to tell you. And so you're living in the present, okay? And the reason why you're living in the present is so you can actually see with this eye, see what's happening, see if you're getting any signs from the divine. Because if you live in the past or the future, you're completely going to miss these signs. And so here you see that the crows are playing with pearls. Okay, what do the pearls mean? Pearls are their spiritual meaning of pearls are like their protection. Their pearls are for protection. And so it's telling me to tell you guys that you guys are protected by the angels, that the angels are looking out for you, and the universe is actually rooting for you and rooting for your success. Okay, so, or your soulmate success, actually. And so the pearls also mean calmness. Okay, calmness and relaxing. Okay, so maybe you sometimes do not feel relaxed, because you feel like you've been left out in the cold with this 5 of stones, which is 5 of earth. This is the left out in the cold card. You can see this fairy, and you can see that she is depressed, or she's feeling sad, and she's by herself by a rock. You can see here. So she's not even looking at anything around her. She's not even looking for any messages from the divine, because she's so overwhelmed by her feelings that she's missing the signs that the universe is trying to tell her. So if you don't have pearls, I would suggest you wear pearls if you're a woman. Okay, and if you're a man, you can still wear pearls. There's nothing wrong with pearls. Okay. So pearls offer you actually a sense of peace and calmness. Okay, so this is maybe needed for you to actually not feel so much pain and anguish from your perception of being rejected by this individual, by the Capricorn, actually. So your soulmate feels rejected, like you left them out in the cold. Okay. And so the hopes and fears here, your hopes and fears are actually more optimistic than your soulmate's hopes and fears, which are more pessimistic. And the reason why I say this is because you got the 6 of spirals, which is the 6 of wands. And this card means a victory, success. So you actually want success with this person, although you are in your own corner contemplating, looking for answers within yourself to come up with maybe ways to be successful, maybe to ways in which you can initiate reunion again with your soulmate. Okay? And then your soulmate feels the 10 of scrolls, which is the 10 of swords, and they feel like they're going through this negative cycle in their minds, in this loop of negativity. And they're almost done with it because it is the 10, so they're close to finishing this negative cycle. But they have the power with them then to get rid of all this mental negativity they have because of the feeling of being rejected or being left out in the cold. Maybe they feel as if you don't want to be with them. Maybe they also need to forgive, whether, I don't know what you need to forgive, but this soulmate clearly feels, I feel like this soulmate has so much resentment, and they have to forgive you because of the resentment that they feel from being left out in the cold. And so they're in this negative loop here, which they're getting out of. And so like they've hit rock bottom with this realization. And so they've actually are at a crossroads because they don't know what to do. Should they even wait for you? They're almost like waiting. Should they even wait for you, or what should they do? They have no idea here. They're at a crossroad. Okay? So they haven't made the decision here, but it seems like they want to manifest something. Maybe they want to manifest communication. Okay? And so how you view them as this independent. 9 of stones is 9 of pentacles, sorry. You view them as an independent person, as a person that's able to provide for themselves, that is comfortable being by themselves, that's successful by themselves, and that they don't need to be with someone. It's like maybe they put on a show that they are fine by themselves and they don't need anyone. They just, are fine by themselves if they don't maybe get their way. Or if they're not being given what fulfills their soul, which is the other thing too. So you see them kind of as an independent person, as a person that is able to take care of themselves. A fertile, nurturing person, because I can see all these sprouts and like these plants, these ferns and stuff, which mean growth, nurture. So when you nurture something, you make it grow. When you don't nurture something, you can't make things grow, okay? So my eyes keep going back to this tree here that's kind of lopsided and all these clouds. And I don't know why I have to figure this out. It seems like it's windy because her hair is very windy. So Capricorn, I see here that although you may feel that this person is very independent, you also can see that she or he has challenges that they have to overcome, okay? And this person, whether this person realizes it or not, and you see that they're going straight to these challenges, trying to fight these challenges by themselves on their own, okay? So she has her back turned, and then you can see that she's confronting these challenges on her own, but you're almost like, you're almost seeing this in like a bird's eye view. So maybe a part of you kind of, I don't know, you're just watching this person overcome their challenges. And how they see you. They see you as the 10 of Stones. And now these cards mean a little different. So, one. Okay, so the song came on just now. When I lose control, I'm in control. This song says, when I lose control is when I find myself I'm in control. Maybe that has something to do with you. I'm not quite sure. Okay? This person views you as theirs. Okay, with a 10 of earth, like you're their wish fulfillment. Okay, they're very possessive over you, and they've worked so hard in this relationship, and they're aggressive about it. Okay, and it's almost to the point of like in a mental way. They're like, you know, even if you guys aren't communicating, they're possessive, and like they already think that you're theirs. And so do you see how they're guarding their crystals? Okay, either maybe they're being very possessive of you, or they're being possessive of the things that they have accomplished, whether it be spiritual growth or balance within themselves, that they don't want to let anything come in between their balance and their happiness, not even a soulmate, or they might feel this way about you, okay? And so this is like too much, to the point where it's not letting things grow, and it's not letting that energy flow. Okay? So this person has to detach themselves psychologically because they're blocking their personal growth. Okay, it's too much. It's a little bit too much. Okay, and your karmic future is the Star, which is the card of Aquarius. And this basically means like there's healing. There's a lot of healing that is going to happen here in this relationship. Whether it be by yourself or with your partner. I will have to clarify that. And that's why I shuffle the cards beforehand, because I'd like to spend some time doing this opposed to just shuffling the cards and getting here in like, you know, wasting like 15 minutes. And so it's also like you're getting, so like actually the spirit is on both of your guys's side. So it's like this is a divinely guided soul connection. So it's kind of like the universe is trying to pull you guys together. Do you see that this person is like giving these horses something so they can attract them to each other? Kind of feel like this. Okay. And so, and they're also healing at this process as well, with this process. But I kind of tend to see this as, do you see this horse right here? This horse has many options that they can choose from. And I'm thinking this is you, Capricorn. So the universe is kind of putting you together with these other horses, and you have a choose which horse you want to choose. But I see here that these two horses are looking at me, but there's this one that's looking at you, and you're looking at this horse. So although you have many choices, there's only one person that you really have a deep, deep soul connection with. But you guys have gone through past karma shit, because you guys had relived past lives and past lives with each other, that there are still some hurt feelings and stuff that actually trigger things in this lifetime, where it causes you to have resentments and needing to heal from these situations, whether you're aware of this or not. And this is why you guys are like, it seems like you guys are not together at the moment. You're in your own separate corners. If that makes sense. So what is the star also trying to tell me here? Let me see here. It takes a little time, guys. Sorry. I just need to. So you have hope. Okay? And although you have choices, there's only one that you fancy more than the rest. Okay? And so you have hope that you can actually reunite with this person. Okay? So you have hope and promise of brighter days. And the way you actually manifest those things is by thinking positively and optimistic like you're doing. So it kind of, I think you're kind of maybe waiting for your soulmate to actually be in a more positive note, and maybe communication is required here, because this person feels like they were left out in the cold. And so I am going to maybe pull some cards from this deck right here and ask for some additional help or guidance. So Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. So I did get your card. So your card popped out, which means that you're in your element. You're in your element of being a Capricorn. And I know it kind of sucks to have the Devil card as your card, Capricorn, because people, tarot readers are like, okay, this could be a Capricorn, and this could be some toxic shit. And sometimes toxic shit is like, you know, kind of like in the same breath as, okay, this could be a Capricorn. So it must freaking do something to your, I don't know, to maybe like the idea of being a Capricorn. Why does the Devil sign have to be a Capricorn? I'm not quite sure, but I don't feel toxicity in this spread at all. I just feel like you have maybe low vibrations from feeling rejection. I get a lot of feeling of rejection here, of pain, of maybe like being codependent. Maybe that could be part of toxicity, is like one person may be codependent. I have to clarify this, because this could be like this person is holding on to you mentally, even if it's not physical, or they're holding on to the things that they've created themselves, and they don't want their peace and whatever they worked hard for spiritually and balance them and work so hard to balance themselves out. They're not going to let any motherfucker or any blah 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 to like mess all their hard work up, and I really don't blame them, but we'll clarify this. So you both feel the same way about each other. And you both have like this, I get this fear of abandonment, guys. And it does pertain to the codependency and the things that trigger you to have these resentful energies and this pain, which you haven't quite forgiven yet. And remember that unconditional love sets people free, wants you to be happy whether you're with them or not. This is what unconditional love is. And nothing tells you unconditional love more than your parents. And I don't live close to my parents. It's been years since I've lived with my parents. And every time I leave, and this is triggering me, every time I leave, my mom cries. And she's like, oh, when are you coming back? And I do visit her often. I do visit my family like 3 times a year. And so, but every time I leave, she cries. But she wants me to be happy. And she says, and she never says, oh, you shouldn't live here, you should live close to home, because she knows that I'm in pursuit of my happiness, and that everybody has their own lessons and karmic contracts to fulfill, okay? And they have their life to lead, and their happiness takes them where they need to go. And they're, to learn the lessons they have to learn. Everybody has their own paths. And now, if you are meant to be with that person, you will be with that person, and you will fulfill your life paths together. Although you may not be in the same exact path, you might go the same direction, and this is okay. Nobody's in the same exact path, okay? And so let's clarify this 10 of Stones. Hold on, guys. So I got the 9 of Cups, which is like a wish fulfillment, like, which is like, or this person being like, okay, so let me just think what this has to do with the 10 of Stones. Let me think for a minute, guys. Okay, so I got it. So do you see these 2 cups here? They represent emotion. They represent 2 individuals, you and your soulmate. This is the fountain of life, okay? And so I think this person is protective over themselves because they've gone through a lot of hardships, and they know that when they love, they really love, and they haven't yet learned the lesson of unconditional love. And so knowing that you don't have to protect your heart, because you just
love, just let it flow if it comes out, because that type of love never goes away, even if the person's not physically with you. And you can't try to prevent love like this from happening. It just happens naturally. So you just have to let it happen naturally. But this person is like, you guys are protecting your hearts, because maybe you feel that if you protect it from having these feelings or overindulging in these feelings, and the crystals, I kind of tend to think of this as like love. Okay, although this card, these decks mean a different thing. Remember that different tarot decks have a different understanding to these cards. So I know what this card means in a regular deck, and so, but in this situation, this person, so because they feel like they have to protect their heart from love, because they actually feel rejected, like you've abandoned them. And so how they protect their heart is just by being possessive of it, by not displaying it, by not maybe showing you that they love you, or that they don't even want to invest more feelings in this situation, because they don't want to let their emotions overrule them, because having these deep emotions unbalance them right now, because they have this fear of abandonment. They feel like if they give their whole heart to you, then you have to stay with them, or there has to be some sort of relationship, which is ultimately a wish fulfillment. And it seems like both of you guys want this, but this person has to work out their own issues of just letting this love, and also you actually, because right here you're guarding your heart as well, letting this love just flow. And you're not going to be less of a person, or you're not going to have the person take a piece of your heart. That can't happen. Okay, so if you have a love of self, then you will have love of all the people, unconditional love of self. You will have unconditional love of all people, and whether they're with you physically or not, that doesn't matter, because you have fulfilled your own cup, and you have filled your own cup with this cup of life. So this is all of us actually, and this never runs out. Love never runs out. The universe will always there's always going to be love in abundance. So you're not going to be any less, or let's see, how am I gonna say this? There isn't going to be anything lacking from you if this person walks away with you loving them, or your soulmate feels this way, that and this is why they feel so much pain and rejection, because they still have they're codependent, and they have this fear of abandonment. And so, everybody goes through that. I've had to deal with it myself, and I'm so glad that I've actually let this go. And the reason why, and what has helped me in my journey, is understanding what unconditional love means, and understanding that that there's an abundance of love where nobody can take this away, and especially if you have fulfilled your own cup. And so it just makes it easier for people to come in and out of your life, and you can, and you wouldn't have to feel this way, or your partner. Okay? And so, let's see, let's see what happens with the star card, okay? So what will happen in the end? Like, what does it look like is going to happen? So there is hope of reconciliation, but we'll see what happens. And it's already 50 minutes. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Jupiter. So it seems like, you guys are going to make this work on a physical plane. So trying to make it work and coming into union. And so, but you need to let this cycle complete with and the reason why I say this, because I kind of reminds me of the Wheel of Fortune. So you need to close the cycle so a new one can begin. And so you need to balance out your animosities, your resentment, your pain, and forgive this shit. And even if it's hard for you to do that right now, you know how you give yourself affirmations and in words of affirmations, you can give yourself words of forgiving the other person for whatever things that you think that they've caused you, or whatever hurts that they caused you, whether intentionally or not. And so it seems like you guys are going to there's going to be you're going to give this person a gift, a token of like either a reconciliation and a token of a commitment of some sort. And not necessarily marriage, but it could be a commitment of like, of you promise to do something and they're going to promise to do something, like some sort of contract or some sort of situation being worked out. So some sort of commitment or leveling the relationship up. So the relationship's going to be leveled up. This is the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands. So there's going to be a message. And it seems like, so this is the Eight of Wands. So when these things are balanced, somebody's going to get a message here. Whether it's you or not, or your partner, I'm thinking it's you, Capricorn, that you're going to give this person a message. Because right now, they're the ones that are feeling like you've rejected them. And so you're going to do this. Let me think here, guys. I like at night. You're going to do this at night, and it's just going to be impulsive. Like you're going to not stand this anymore. You're going to just impulsively say, just give this person a message, because you've actually will come out of this hermit mode right here. And you will heal faster than your soulmate, maybe. And if you don't heal faster, maybe they, you will just, I think your offer will cause them to heal faster, actually. But you have to be careful with this codependency and these fears of abandonment. You guys have to do something with this fear in order for, and all this resentment and anger, and really forgive the other. And it actually stems from fear of abandonment. So you have to really fight through this in order for you guys not to repeat the same cycle with the Ten of Scrolls. Okay? So in order for you guys not to repeat the same cycle, check online or whatever how you can get rid of this. Okay? And start with unconditional love. Because you guys really love each other, and you don't know how you live with the other person. Neither of you want to live without the other person. And you're expecting to be reunited with this person, but maybe something has been said or done which makes the other person feel rejected. And when you go through these rejections, you do tend to feel emotional about it, but only time will heal. And in due time, and when the perfect time, you will message this person. But you only know, with a Hermit card, you know when the perfect time is, when you kind of feel the energies have balance. You have this almost telepathy with your partner, because your partner is also spiritual. So you will know when the time's right. And good luck with you guys, and talk to you guys later. Bye.